in the Mojave Desert. Big Three on CBS from Las Vegas. One game down of our triple header on CBS. The Ghost Ballers taking game one, and now we get ready for game two from Orleans Arena. Bivouac and Tri-State each looking for win number one in this new season. Welcome back inside. I'm Ed Cohen with the Hall of Famer and Triplets head coach Lisa Leslie. It was a thriller in game one in the sense that Mike Taylor went off, had 25. The Ghost Ballers are now 2-0. But we transition to game two. Lisa, both these teams trying to get in the win column early in this Big Three season.
Absolutely, and you know the players that want to help them get there. When you look at the battle of the bigs we saw in the last game, it's going to be the guards. Will Bynum going against Nate Robinson or Earl Clark. Any of those guys can step up and hit big shots. I'm looking forward to them guarding each other. But let's check out Bynum. He really was a big deal against us. First game, really unstoppable. We were thankful he ran out of gas because he was amazing from the outside, knocking down jumpers, his ability to pull up off the dribble and then getting to the basket. But he's going to have some big competition with Earl Clark really making a name for himself again, knocking down jumpers. And what I like is his mid-range game is right there. He'll pull up 15-footers, 17-footers, not necessarily shooting too many threes, but he's been money every single time.
A lot of great rookie debuts last week in the Big Three. As we look at our rosters, brought to you by PNC Bank, Captain Josh Smith for Bivouac, Nate Robinson leading Tri-State. And Lisa, when you think of overdraft protection, what are you keeping an eye on for this one today?
My overdraft protection is really going to be about the big name guys who have not necessarily stepped up. Josh Smith, I know that he can play better. He has to do better. His team really needs him and his energy for him to step up. And then Jason Richardson, who shot the ball well, but I still think he's going to continue to have to put a lot more pressure and knock down those open jumpers.
There's a doctor in the house.
Yes.
It's Dr. J. Julius Erving, fourth year, leading Tri-State and among the many Hall of Fame coaches in the Big Three. And on the other side, Reggie Theus, former Kings head coach, only Big Three coach to serve as an NBA head coach, year number 2 with Bivouac, and they're in year number 2 as well in the Big Three.
Well, when you look at Reggie Theus and the matchup with Dr. J, I mean, you talk about the coolest man in the building. First off, let's just go back to Dr. J and his outfit. He's looking very Versace-achi today. This is going to be a great matchup, though. You got the big guys right here, the smalls coming in. You got my little bro from Uncle Drew with Nate the Great Robinson, but also Saunders on the inside, you know, matching up against Josh Smith. This is going to be another good game, a lot of battles, and it's going to be the team who can really pay attention to the details, that changeover on those rebounds, knocking down those free throws, and overall execution on their offense.
Let's do it. This is the first ever meeting between Tri-State and Bivouac. Tri-State in red, Richardson, Sanders, and Nate the Great. And what a start for Jay Rich. He'll have a chance at 3 on the first trip.
I like how Jay Rich just came out right on cue. Like, attack the basket, do what you do, Jay Rich. He's so fast, still can get to the basket quickly. And then, again, we know that he has that range that's unlimited. He also can knock down the 4-point shot.
Jason Richardson hitting age 40. Will he get to this one? Trying to save, he did. Robinson, 4-point shot, too much. Didn't hit the rim, Bynum denied. Richardson, no. What a block by Sanders.
That was nice for Saunders coming up with that big block there on the inside.
Josh Smith. So for Bivouac, Lisa, Alonzo G, Josh Smith, Will Bynum, and Jay Rich with the first 5 of the game.
And Jay Rich doing a nice job. I think, Coach, I got a chance to talk to Dr. J, and he talked about Jay Rich just stepping up. Like, man, we need you, and you already know how to play this game. Get out here and play basketball. And I guess he got the memo. Nice job.
Is it safe for me to say the second best dressed head coach in the Big Three?
It's safe to say, only because I'm sitting here, but
just trying to cover my tracks.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Wow, floor to ceiling. Still got it, as they say in Vegas.
Still got it. Dr. J.
Early switch for Bivouac. Julian Wright in. And Alonzo Jean will get an early breather. No, it's been the Jay Rich show early on for Tri-State with their first 5 points. But 0 of 2 at the foul line.
Yeah, and those free throws, trust me, every point you need them because they're worth 2, folks. And so that's why you got to knock down your free throws. So much more important than just shooting 2.
Will Bynum high off the glass and in.
I need for Bynum to just continue to keep doing what he was doing from last week, and that's just being a monster out there attacking offensively if Bivouac wants to come up with their first win.
Sanders, no, didn't hit the rim. Right scoop, not there. Nate Robinson on a blow-by. Missed time. Richardson gets there and scores. Jay Rich, all 7 points for Tri-State. Lisa, you talked about it at the top. Bynum against Robinson. Matchup to watch as Bynum misses.
I like that matchup just because I know that both he and Nate aggressive to the basket, both really good shooters, and put a lot of attention on being quick to the basket. But Jay Richardson also has so much speed. There he is. And those are the intangible things I talked about, getting on the boards, getting your team second and third chance opportunities are really effective and puts a lot of pressure on the other team.
Josh Smith, the captain. Jay Smooth converts for 2 points. Tie game at 7. And talking about Jason Richardson, Lisa, he was second on Tri-State in scoring 2 years ago as Robinson can't convert. Number 1 was Amari Stoudemire. Richardson off the mark. That's a big gap that Tri-State's trying to fill this year.
Absolutely, and Amari was great. They did not clear that ball, so that basket will not count. But when you talk about Amari Stoudemire, who was huge, I mean, he was the Defensive Player of the Year. He did such a great job of both offense and defense. You know, he has that mid-range game, knocking down the jumper, as well as his ability to put so much pressure. So they are trying to fill that spot. But when you have to clear, when you look at this, it's important for each team who has a possession, if it's not an air ball, they have to clear it, but also the post players have to clear and get out of the middle of the paint. Still adjusting. We're on week 2.
Week
guys
2.
are going to remember all the rules eventually.
Long way to go to the Bahamas, New Orleans, and obviously the majority of the regular season in Las Vegas at Orleans Arena. Get official Big 3 merch at store.big3.com for league and team apparel, including jerseys, hats, and jackets. Get it all at store.big3.com.
I actually went on that website and ordered me some stuff, so I was really happy with it too. You guys make sure you get your gear. I got me some hoodies, a few jackets with all the team's logos, a few triplets, t-shirts, Big 3 t-shirts. I'm hooked up for the summer.
I need the Big 3 golf shirt, especially when it's
There you go.
over 110 degrees in Vegas. You're a little more accustomed to it on the West Coast.
Well, man, not that kind of. This heat is serious. I mean, we were here when it was 114. I'm like, that is just beyond frying an egg outside, folks. It was hot.
Sizzling to start this new Big 3 season. Tie game at 7. Nate Robinson slammed down on the follow. Larry Sanders.
Nice. That was a good follow for Sanders. I really like his activity, and he's got to do a better job today. I think last week he took quite a few shots from the outside, Sanders, but his money's going to be made right there on the inside, blocking shots, cleaning up whatever his teammates miss.
Jay Rich.
And there he is again.
Backing down right, Sanders, hook shot is through. And flexing the muscles.
Yes,
for now he's the champ.
He's been in the weight room. We appreciate seeing it, big fella.
Bynum up top and guided through by Julian Wright.
And that time Bynum putting pressure on the defense. Saunders had to choose whether he was going to stay or come over and help. That time he helped, which left the big guy Wright open for 2.
Jay Rich against Bynum. Pull up. Got it. Jay Rich with 9 points of the first 13 for Tri-State and a timeout on the floor. Well, Lisa, Larry Sanders making his mark on the glass for Tri-State.
Well, I talked to Nate Robinson about Saunders, and he said if he just gets inside, he can be effective and help Tri-State get this win.
Tri-State with the early 13-9 advantage against Bivouac here in Las Vegas. Well, tonight on CBS, it's game time in the Big Brother house. Who will risk it all and who will walk away with a big win? It's a new Big Brother tonight on CBS. Big Brother, it's a big dunkers. 3 slam dunk winners in this Big 3 game. Jay Rich, Josh Smith, Little Nate, all 3 with John Sally.
All right, I'm sitting with all 3 slam dunk champions. They were great. You guys were fabulous. But my favorite being the 3-time right here. And I just like that. Do you remember any of that, Nick?
Just pure excitement, honestly. You know, as a kid, you dream about, you know, getting into the NBA, doing the slam dunk competition. And for me, I was fortunate to win 3 times. It's just a blessing from God.
Yes. And you?
I remember it. I was young, 18, bird chest. Started the trend with the whole jersey thing, but it was kind of hard doubling up in Houston, going against a guy that can fucking fly, jump through the roof. Excuse my language, jump through the roof, and Nate Robinson. I mean, tremendous talent. And Jason Richardson, he started the trend in Oakland when he won the dunk contest.
So you're trying to say he's older?
Yeah, he's colder. Colder, not older.
No, it's just a great experience doing it. You know, great dunkers right here. They keep on evolving the dunk contest and making it better every year.
All right. Thank you guys, fellas. Good luck.
Well, safe to say they're all great, but there's one dunker in the building, Lisa, who stands above the rest.
My all-time favorite, you know, Dr. J for me is just class, grace. He's just been such an amazing example for all these young men who have followed in his footsteps.
And for the last 20, 30 years, for the younger generation, he's the guy holding up the Gatorade 10 signs at the dunk contest.
That's right. One of the best judges ever. He knows.
Hannah Richardson, 11 in the first 15 now for Tri-State.
Well, come out and make that face where you like, man, you better get some today. Jason Richardson came to play.
Ray Spates into the game. And the NBA champion with Golden State off the mark. Sanders.
You got to go hard with that. Sanders, he tiptoed to the basket. They're not going to call that.
Spates denied.
Nice block.
Give, go. Richardson with time, 3. Sanders, no one went for the rebound. He does, and he scores.
And that's what Tri-State needs from Larry Sanders, is to be able to come out here and be effective with those second and third chance opportunities, blocking shots, getting rebounds, and those putbacks. Right now, Bivouac just really not coming up with any 50-50 balls, really slow to the basket.
Robinson. Smith sizing up Sanders. Launches. Tri-State in the midst of a 10-2 run. Right now an 8-point lead. Robinson over Bynum.
And right now, this is the team that's going to get the best results, of the team that's going to slow it down and be more effective with their offensive choices right here. You got isolation happening on the inside with Josh Smith. No rebounds. Players have to move to go get the rebound as you see the shot clock winding down. And this is where Bivouac has to improve in that area if they want to come up with a victory today.
Sanders, you can hear the slap for Miles. Smith with the foul, and Sanders with a chance at a 3-point play.
Yeah, I like to see it. Sanders inside, really being strong again. Here he is with the crossover going to the left. Ooh, nice. Josh, he couldn't do anything but foul in that situation because he put him right there in the basket.
Lisa spoke to Larry Sanders last weekend. Remember, 2 years ago, was engaged to his fiancee Holly J. That was week 1 of the Big 3 season, and because of the pandemic, they had to push the wedding back a little bit. So, like many currently engaged around the world, it's been a bit of a wait, but they're going to have that magical day pretty soon.
Oh, I hope so. It was so beautiful when he proposed to her, and obviously she didn't know, so it was a big surprise in front of the whole Big 3 family and fans. Sad to hear they have yet to tie the knot. The pandemic's been, you know, something that we all around the world experienced, and we're making it through. And as the numbers climb again, we got to get our mask on, encouraging people to get vaccinated as much as possible, so that we can, I don't know, get back to what our new normal is, and that is just trying to be as safe as possible.
Well said. Here in 2021. Sanders taking G off the dribble. Larry Sanders popped out. Richardson trying to throw it off Bynum and out of bounds. The officials trying to get the call right. We'll see who keeps it. How about Jay Rich, by the way, already with a double-double, 11 points and 10 rebounds.
Yes, Jay Richardson really showing a lot of energy, that he's in shape and ready to play. His shot's looking good. Put in a lot of pressure again on the defense because, again, he's just knocking down jumpers, keeping it simple, not doing too much, but also getting to the 50-50 balls. Tri-State doing a nice job. Bivouac, they've got to step it up, and I think it's their effort more than anything else. They're one and done, not getting to 50-50 balls, and this comes from energy and being prepared. The Big 3 is no joke. The energy that it takes, and the longer, you know, these games are long. It's a lot of energy. It's almost like watching a boxer in the boxing ring. You think you can do it, but you get in there and like 3 minutes is a long time to go toe-to-toe with someone.
15 rounds or 50 points. What do you get more of a break?
I don't know that you get a break, and sometimes in the Big 3 you don't, because scoring just constantly keeps happening, or change of possession. Now Clark comes in. Jay Richardson really came out and did a nice job from the start, giving his team this lead.
Talked about Earl Clark at the top, out of Louisville, veteran of 6 NBA seasons, and Tony Roden into the game as well for Tri-State. So Tri-State by 9 at 21-12. Again, Bivouac and Tri-State looking for their first victory in 2021. Clark over G, well defended. Bynum there, and the finish for Bivouac.
And again, Clark just subbed in. My advice would be take that ball to the basket. You might not want to just come in and start trying to shoot jumpers cold off the bench.
Tony Roden, Bynum fell. Looks to be okay, but Tony Roden able to cash in, the former Grizzly and Philadelphia 76er. And Roden fouling Will Bynum. I think both teams trying to find their traction here in the first half of the second game of the day.
I think it comes down to trust. You know, trust is a big thing to give up when you are in a 3-on-3 situation. Pride is always involved, and nobody wants to get embarrassed. But it's easier when you work together and share the ball than when you just go one-on-one. And that concept is really hard to get guys to buy into. These are pros that have played, and they all have confidence in themselves individually. But the teams that really buy into the team concept really have more success than those that don't.
Well, Bynum slowly but surely getting going for Bivouac. He had 23 points in week 1. And Joe Johnson, at least you were a witness to it on the bench yesterday, scoring 34. That broke Will Bynum's Big 3 record of 33 from 2 years ago. Went for it. Roden, open drive, and he finishes to get us to the break. Tri-State 25 and Bivouac 16.
That was a nice drive. Again, Tri-State getting to the 50-50 balls, out hustling Bivouac. And Bivouac's really got to take this half to figure out what they're going to do to get back into this game. Because if Jay Richardson keeps balling the way that he is, this game's going to be over in a minute. The Big 3 on CBS. Stay tuned.
Look along the strip in Las Vegas. Halftime of Game 2 today. Tri-State with a 25-16 lead over Bivouac. Each week, fans can help select the Microsoft Big 3 Player of the Week. You can go online to big3.com or Big 3 social media accounts to vote. We'll reveal the result from Week 2 next Saturday. Welcome back inside Orleans Arena. Ed Cohen with the Hall of Famer Lisa Leslie. Last week in Week 1, there were 4 double-doubles total in the Big 3. In the first half of this one, Jason Richardson with a double-double all by himself.
He's done a great job, and what I love are the rebounds. When you talk about getting on the boards and those extra points, getting your team those opportunities. Obviously, we know offensively he can get to the basket, his quickness, but I think his coach challenged him this week that they needed more, and Jason Richardson has stepped up to do just that. On the boards, rebounding, doing everything that he needs. And John is standing by with Jay Rich right now.
All right, Jay Rich, 40 years old. You're doing it big. We just saw it look very good.
Yeah, I was going out there being aggressive. Last week I wasn't aggressive enough. Dr. J pulled me to the side. Told me I don't need to be a facilitator. They need me to score points, so I'm going out there and trying to get my team to win.
All right, well, you're doing a good job. Keep listening to Doc.
All right.
Definitely a good guy to listen to. Thank you, John and Jay Rich, 2-time slam dunk champion. Larry Sanders, Lisa, you talked about what he did on the glass, kept the number of possessions alive for Tri-State.
Yeah, and that's going to be important. He'll start out on the bench right now. Clark is on the inside, and which I really don't like this substitution. I think this is more to an advantage for Bivouac because you got smaller, which is now going to give possibly Josh Smith a chance to get some more shots off.
Smith, Alonzo G, Will Bynum for Bivouac. They're in white. Lob to the rim, knocked away from Smith by Roden, and the call is that Smith was on the way up, so 1 2-point shot for Bivouac.
And that was a really good play, a good decision to send Jay Smith off that back screen. Again, back door, because you got your big out 7-footer off the floor. That was an opportunity for him to get a lob going to the basket.
The doctor a little perplexed. Josh Smith, first half, scored 8 points. And the captain for Bivouac, able to convert for a 2-point shot. You know, we've spoken a lot about the dunk contest. Josh Smith and Jason Richardson, 2 of the 5 guys who put up 3 perfect scores in NBA dunk contest history. The others being Vince Carter, Michael Jordan, and the guy Nate Robinson jumped over one year in Spud Webb.
Whoa, those are big name guys to join when you talk about perfect scores and dunking. So I'm sure each of those guys have some kind of poster at home or something to remind them of that very moment. Because the unfortunate part is that you lose that jumping skill at some point. And these guys still look like they can really jump out of the gym, even at 40.
They better have the posters. They put a lot of guys on those posters over time. Richardson up and under. Roden. 4 to shoot on the reset. Gets by Bynum. Blocked away. Smith the denial. Wants it back. Stripped and fouled. And it's on Tony Roden. And Smith going back for a 2-point shot.
Well, when you look at this, Ed, again, we got to remember Sanders is on the bench, so that gives them a little bit more opportunity. And here comes Josh Smith, is now the big guy on the court, blocking shots. Nice rotation, and come get some. Man, you better come stronger than that if you want to come in the paint in the big 3. I'm telling you, Josh Smith with a nice block.
And you make those 2-point shots. Real game changer. Right now, Tri-State leading 25-20. Roden bobbles. Was it deflected? Tri-State says it was. Bivouac, they're going to get it back. Down goes G, and Roden, that's his 3rd foul in the second half already. Now, he doesn't have to sit, but if he stays out there and commits another one, it's technical foul.
And that's what you have to watch out for. Here's the pick-the-picker play, which was nice. And I'm not sure if there was a foul or they both just slipped in the middle, but that's unfortunate. One more foul, there's a technical.
Earl Clark, one dribble, Mid-range, got it. Earl Clark had a really solid opening week for Tri-State.
And that right there is just Josh Smith not understanding personnel. You know Clark's mid-range game is nice. You got to come up and force him to do something different.
First points for Earl Clark. Hit 7 shots last week. Smith, shorts pulled, shot no good. 4-point shot. Jay Rich off the mark.
Now he was feeling it, and that would have been a shot as the coach I would have been happy with him taking.
Bynum, teardrop. That won't go. Clark over Smith. Earl Clark delivers from 3.
Earl Clark looking good, stepping up, knocking down those open jumpers. And this is what you want to see for Dr. J, who subbed in some of his bench, right? Sanders is on the bench. There you have Clark coming in and really not losing a beat. Clark, 2 buckets back-to-back. Nice 3-point shot. Josh Smith, much better effort on that, but what can you do? He's knocking down jumpers.
Couple of Earl Clark buckets, last 5 points for Tri-State. Bynum switched on a Clark. The step back, around but popped out. Tell you what, with the new Bring the Fire rule, as Roden bumped and fouled, he scores, and a chance at a 3-point play.
I really like the way Roden really comes and attacks the basket there. Tony just really using the defense and the body with a nice left. And the thing about the big 3 is like the score, right? For 1 minute, it looks like it's close and there's a comeback, and then, you know, some guys take off, you get a few buckets here and there, and the next thing you know, it's out of reach. But the good thing is there's a lot of time and a lot of missed free throws. I'm going to wait till I get back to my team. Everybody listening, go shoot your free throws. You cannot miss free throws in the big 3.
No basket here for Alonzo G. Something you talked about for the big guys. Got to clear the lane before you get the possession.
And it takes time to really process that for the big guys, that the change of position happens quickly and you don't think, well, I don't have to get out of the paint, but they do. It's 3-on-3, it's half court. As the guards clear the ball, or whomever has the ball, the posts have to get out of the paint and clear all the way. They can't even have a toe, folks, left in the paint, or it does not count.
Lisa, Tri-State sitting on its largest lead by 12. Roden, no look. Rich, the backdoor cut, and it was poked away. We'll stay with up they're going to say off of Jason Richardson.
Yeah, Richardson lost it because he was looking for the lob, and Tony dropped it down low to her, so Tri-State loses possession.
Bynum, sizing up Clark. Pull up denied. Clark the block. Shovels. Roden missed it. Tip is good. Earl Clark to save the points.
And Bivouac really at a point now where they've got to decide, what are they going to do here? How do you slow down and get a few defensive stops? Because Tri-State clearly outplaying them.
And the foul is on the pass.
And right there, Clark with a nice block. Handoff to Tony Roden on the inside. The little chippies, they're missing the little chippies in there though. You can't miss those layups. But right now they're ahead with more than enough points to close this game out.
Time out of the floor with Tri-State leading by 14. Jason Richardson with 15 rebounds already.
Woo.
And Earl Clark with 7 points all in this half for Dr. J's team. Week 2 in the Big 3, Lisa Leslie, and here in Las Vegas, some great games yesterday, including Game 2. You know, many people have been saying, I've talked to Jeff Quadnitz, co-founder of the Big 3, along with Ice Cube. He felt your win yesterday against Power, 50-47, may have been the best game in regular season history in the Big 3. I mean, it had a little bit of everything. The comeback, you guys were down by 11, closed on an 18-4 run, and then Joe Johnson hits the game winner right in front of Q.
It was a great game on both teams, and at one point you really didn't know who was going to win it. It could have gone either way. Power and Anthony Liebman does a great job with their team coming out. Katino Mobley, you can't say enough about him. At whatever his age is, he looked good, he plays good, he's out there shooting long-range threes, putting so much pressure on us. Royce White bringing all the noise and the trash talking, but, you know, we just really did a good job of staying focused, staying together, and getting some defensive stops as a team. And then when you have ISO Joe and the MVP of the Big Three on his way to repeat, you get the win. And I'm very blessed to be able to coach those guys.
Nice spin cycle there from Alonzo G. You've won 12 games over the 2 years of the Triplets franchise, including the playoffs. ISO Joe, as Richardson converts, Joe Johnson has hit 8 game winners in your 12 all-time victories.
And we hate to let it get that close. In fact, I think we're doing a much better job this year of coming out stronger. We had a lot of slow starts. We were a new team, not really sure what the Big Three was all about, and we would take about, the first 10 to 12 points, allowing the other team to score to just really get settled in. And I'm like, now this season, we don't have time for that. We are being hunted, and that's fine. It's not a lot of pressure because the pressure is on the other team to try to beat us, but it's important to come out and get out to a great start. So we were doing a much better job of that this season.
And now Alonzo G for a 2-point shot. Missed opportunities on both sides here in game 2. Earl Clark against Julian Wright. The step back. Clark has had the hot hand since the break. And we hit a timeout. Tri-State leading by 16 in Vegas.
Clark was on the bench saying, "Don't leave me out, coach. Let me play." He did a nice job. We talked about that mid-range game. Clark said, "What? Boy, you better get a hand up."
Tri-State outscoring Bivouac 13-6 since halftime in Las Vegas. They lead by 16. Well, critics are calling A Quiet Place Part 2 the movie of the summer, starring Emily Blunt and John Krasinski. A Quiet Place Part 2. It's now streaming on Paramount Plus.
It was so good. Can I just jump in there and say The Quiet Place 2 was awesome?
Lisa, there's the chairman of the board here in Vegas, Amy Trask, courtside here for the Big Three.
Shout out to Amy Trask, also my colleague on We Need to Talk on CBS Sports Network. Love Amy, and the reason why I got a seat right here next to you because of Amy Trask. Thank you, Amy.
The chairman of the board, only fitting. The Big Three, the Raiders, and Amy are here in Las Vegas.
So great, and what she's done for so many women, for us to look up to a woman who's a business partner, a mogul, in so many aspects, but always looking out for other women. I appreciate Amy and all that I've learned from her.
Oh, it's going the other way. Offensive on Josh Smith. He doesn't like it, and they wave off the basket. It's been a tough second game for the captain.
Well, it's tough, but he does give Jay Rich, he gives him an elbow straight in the neck. I'm not sure. I think the one thing the guys have got to improve on is stop complaining so much. Like, you're fouling, it's a foul. That's it. You got to play through it. And you got to get it back.
Oh, Julian Wright took it away from Roden, and Wright able to finish for Bivouac. But Tri-State by 20 at 42-22. Jay Rich adds to it with the 3, and he was almost fouled by Smith.
Yep, but hey, the ball went in. Check up. Let's go. This is 3-on-3. Like, this is not 5-on-5. You're not going to get every call. You got to play through some things.
Smith bumped, and this is on Jay Rich. Let's go back to the 3-point shot.
Getting it done. The baseline, the 3-point shot there. He did get hit on the hand. I get it. But keep it going. Let's go.
Right now, this is the largest lead for Tri-State.
Another missed free throw on opportunity for Bivouac. Those free throws are so important because you get 2 points.
Julian Wright had the whole weekend to shoot that shot. Almost halfway down. Roden, the blow-by, high off the window, and a foul. And Tony Roden with a chance at 3. What a take
That was a beautiful take. Again, when you talk about in the big three, when you go to the paint, go strong. Josh Smith just a little late on that rotation and unable to stop Tony Rope at the line.
Seattle guy like Nate Robinson. Another missed free throw.
Oh my goodness. This is why Ice Cube was so brilliant in having one free throw instead of two. Nobody wants to come here and watch free throws, but they do want to see that. And
Jason Richardson. And it's point game for Tri-State. Lisa.
Yes.
Hope you get that excited on the bench.
Woo. I love it.
Julian Wright converts. I mean, you look at the score, we haven't had a game like this in a long time in the big three.
Well, when you look at what whoa, that's an air ball. I was like, oh, somebody left the door open. When you look at what Jason Richardson is doing this afternoon, get up. You talk about the dunk contest. He can still fly, guys. That's awesome.
20 points, 16 rebounds. High flyer act. Alonzo Tree stripped. It's going to stay with Bivouac. But again, point game for Tri-State and what has been a massive second half. Bynum lets it fly and scores.
And again, when you get to this point where it's like game point, I think it's really important for the teams to try to execute a little bit more because everybody wants to score that game winner. And sometimes sometimes it happens like that, Clark. Right on cue, or teams get a little tight. Nice job.
Earl Clark wins it for Tri-State. An emphatic first win for Dr. J against Bivouac. Had it all between Jay Rich, Sanders on the glass, a couple of big plays from Roden, and the final one from Earl Clark.
And Earl Clark, nice. I mean, that's 2 for 2 from three-point range. He came in and just solid in the second half. The bench, happy, excited.
Over to Spider Sally for a third time today with Jay Rich.
So Jay Rich, was that a dunk I saw?
Yeah, that was a dunk for a 40-year-old man. I didn't get up high as I used to, but still got the crowd into it with a little spectacular play.
But when you were younger, you knew you were going to dunk it. Just now, you were thinking, I hope I get up.
No, it's not the going up, it's the coming down. I was worried about coming down, man. Hope they had paramedics on site. I thought I was going to end both of my knees on that one.
All right, good job, brother.
You.
All right.
All right, guys, he's still got it. Tri-State with an emphatic victory over Bivouac here in game 2. Richardson with 20. Stay tuned. Next game, Aliens and the Bullhogs. We'll come back to Vegas after these messages and a word from your local station.